My name is Anthony Nathaniel, and I welcome you back to Global Education Zone. And in this episode, we'll be talking about types of lines. So there are different types of lines, and there are different ways they are drawn. So the different types of line, we first talk about the visible or the outline. So your visible line is also known as the outline, is also known as the continuous line, and it's the line that is drawn with a constant and a normal pressure from your pencil. So when you have a pencil and then you pressure your pencil with a normal force, just like your normal resting force, and you use it to draw a line, that is like a visible line. Then next we have the dimension lines, and your dimension lines are those lines that are used to talk about the dimension, to show the dimension or the length and the should we say tolerances, sometimes tolerances of your given figure or your given shapes. Then we have your construction lines. Your construction lines are lines, they are thin lines that are used to show the every line of your drawing. So when you are drawing, before you tick in, you make use of construction lines. So your construction lines are those lines that show the initial steps taken to achieve your final drawing. So that is your construction lines. Then also we have your hatching lines. And your hatching lines are used most especially in machine or mechanical drawing, and they are used to show components that have been cut into. For example, if we have a machine component like this, and then if it is cut, if a plane parallel to the surface cuts this ring. So assuming this ring has thickness, this is the plan of the ring, and then this is the in third angle projection though, this is the plan and this is the elevation. So if we cut this ring, yes, so this will be a dotted lines. These lines is also known as the dotted line, or the dash and continuous line. Is a dash and continuous line, and it is used to show hidden details. So this is a hidden details lines, these dashes. But these lines are known as divisible lines, these lines that contain the outer edges of the drawing. So now if I cut this into half along the length, now, and if I were to show that in drawing, if I were to show that, I will make use of hatching lines. So hatching lines are 45-degree lines. So they are lines drawn at 45 degrees with your set square. So they are used to show when you cut through a component and when you cut through material. So that is most especially metals. That's your hatching lines. Apart from your hatching lines, you also have your guidelines. Your guidelines are used to show, and they are used with other lines to denote and to demonstrate the parts of the objects, especially when you are dimensioning and when you are naming. So when I name these objects, I will make use of the guidelines. So next we also have what is known as the break lines. And your break lines, we have your long break lines and your short break lines. Your long break lines are basically your lines with dashes. So when I draw a line and I make use of dashes, when I make use of zigzags in a line, this is a long break line. But when I make use of just a wavy line like this, is a short break line. So these are used to show whenever you break through an object, or whenever you are showing an object incompletely. So if I'm showing a rectangular board now and I'm not showing a part of it, that edge will be represented by either a long or short break line. So we make use of short break lines when the object is not very big, and we make use of long break lines when the object is long, is big, and it covers a large space. So those are types of drawing. We also have other types of other examples of drawing, like you have your center lines. So your center lines are the lines that are used to show the center of whenever you are passing through the center point, you make use of center lines, and they are basically long and short lines, long short in alternative order. Then we also have your cutting plane. Your cutting plane lines are lines that make use of long short dots, long short dots. So you make use of long line, a short line, a dotted line, a long line, a short line, a dotted line, a long line, a short line, a dotted line, and so on and so forth. That is the cutting plane line. And these lines, they don't need to be very thick. Now your thickest line is also known as your outline or your visible outline. So that line is a line that shows the real object, but any other line should not be as thick as your outline. And this is a tip for those of you that write examinations and those of you that do technical drawing as a hobby. Now make sure that you do not thicken your lines till when you are done with your drawing, because when you thicken your lines and then you make a mistake, you might have to clean, and when you clean a thickened line, it is often difficult to maintain the integrity and consistency of your drawing. So in simple terms, I'm just trying to tell you that don't thicken till you are done with your drawing. So moving on, these are examples of cutting plain lines. These are examples of center lines. You also have different other types of lines like border lines. You have your border lines. So border lines are basically your continuous lines. They are around 0.7 millimeter thick, and they are used basically by many students, in many secondary school students and the high school students. They are used to draw the edges of your paper. So when you have your paper, so those lines that are next to the edges, they are known as your border lines. Then you also have your title blocks. Your title blocks are also drawn with your visible outline. We also have the lines that are used in between your lettering. So those are known as your lettering lines. You can call them anything, but they are majorly construction lines, because you majorly write letters in between two construction lines. So when you letter, you make use of construction lines between these letterings. So those are basically, I call them lettering lines. You can call them anything, but any line you use that surround your letters are known as they are majorly construction lines. So these are majorly the basic examples of lines you can find and you can make use of in your engineering drawing. And for those of you who want to go for engineering, you can also extend your knowledge further. You can buy textbooks. Make sure you expand your knowledge and develop your interest in engineering drawing. Thank you for watching.